Hi, I'm Larry Richardson, your step-by-step chef. In this episode, we're going to make a delicious breakfast dish. It's banana pancakes with butter pecan syrup. And I think you're absolutely going to love this. So come on, let's cook. First, we're going to use a 1/4 cup of chopped pecans. And if you can get a hold of some that are chopped finer, certainly use those. We're going to use 1 cup of maple syrup. And we're going to use 2 tablespoons of butter. So that's what we'll be using for the syrup. For the pancakes themselves, we're going to use 2 eggs, 1 cup of milk, 1½ cup of all-purpose flour, 2 teaspoons of baking powder. Do not use baking soda, they're not the same thing. We're going to use 1 tablespoon of sugar, 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla extract, 1/2 teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of vegetable oil, and we're going to use 2 bananas. Now, you might not use all of those bananas. It really is to taste how much banana you want to add to each pancake. But certainly have 2 on hand just in case you're in a crazy banana kind of mood. So let me show you how to put this all together. So the first thing we'll do is get our syrup warming up. So here's our cup of pancake syrup. Yum. Here's 2 of our tablespoons of butter. And here's our 1/4 cup of nuts. And if you want to use 1/3 of a cup of pecans, you're more than welcome to. I would not add too much more than that. And these pieces are a little bit large. I would rather have all of them this size. That way they'll mix in better with the syrup, and people who are eating the pancakes won't get these big chunks of pecan. So just kind of go through and just give them a little bit of a chop. You don't want them pulverized into dust, but you do just want these smaller pieces that will not only give up some of their flavor into the syrup, but they will also just not be as, these crunchy outliers when you're trying to eat your pancakes. So just go through and carefully chop them up. And there we go. It's okay with me that the pieces are, a little bit inconsistent in size, because that will just add a little bit more texture to the syrup. And even the really tiny pieces are going to melt into the syrup a little bit better and give it more of that butter pecan taste. So I'm going to put this on about 1/4 heat. As it starts to warm up, the butter will melt in. I'll be able to stir the pecans in a little bit better. And then what you want to do is just keep it slowly heating. Don't let it get into any kind of fast simmer or anything, and certainly not a boil. We're not shooting for butter pecan candy. What we're really going for is just a nice mixture in this delicious syrup. And next I'm going to show you how to put the pancake mix together. First we're going to mix up the liquid components. So we have our 1 cup of milk, we have our 2 eggs. Make sure no shells get in there. Here's our 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla extract. You add sugar to that and you have French toast mix. And here's our teaspoon of vegetable oil. That gives it a nice smooth consistency. Let's just give this a little bit of a whisk. Get it nice and mixed up before I add in the other ingredients, the dry ingredients. There, that's a nice smooth consistency. Now we have our 1/2 teaspoon of salt. Our tablespoon of sugar. Our 2 teaspoons of baking powder. Again, not baking soda, baking powder. They're different things, they work differently. That gives the pancakes a nice rise. And finally, our 1½ cups of all-purpose flour. And let's whisk this all in. Now, when you're making pancakes, this is a point to be made. If you like a heavier pancake, add a little bit more flour. If you like a thinner pancake, add a little bit more milk. And really, you can just try that out. I know some people who like their pancakes paper thin. I like them medium size. I don't like them so thick or well, quite frankly, solid that they're like hockey pucks. But this mix will give you a good medium pancake. And then if you like it thinner, go on, add a little bit more milk. If you like it thicker, add a little bit more flour. Now, when I'm mixing this up, I'm not trying to get it like so smooth that there are no flour lumps at all. You want to have a little bit of flour lump to a little bit of body. But that said, you don't want the whole thing to be just full of powdery flour. That's a good consistency. Now I'm going to set this aside, and I'm setting that pancake batter aside for about 5 minutes. I want the baking powder to have time to do its thing and give a little levity to the pancakes. So it needs about 5 minutes to do that. That'll give us time to slice up our bananas. Now while we're slicing the bananas, preheat your frying pan at just under medium heat. Just under medium heat. Start preheating it now so it's ready to roll when we're ready to start making pancakes. And I like the bananas thin enough so that, you know, they don't create any kind of extreme lumpiness in the pancake itself. So I'm going for, you know, that looks like about 1/8 of an inch thinness. And how much banana you add will be totally up to you. Just go through, do it to one banana first, and then if you think you're going to need that second banana, always have a backup banana. When you think you might need that second banana, then you're just going to do the same thing. Just slice them nice and thin. I don't know about you, but I love banana pancakes. It's one of the dishes I had when I was growing up, and I still remember it fondly to this day. Fondly enough that I still make them. Okay, so our syrup is warming up with the pecans and butter over to the side. Our pan is preheated at just under medium heat for 5 minutes. Now, I can tell if this is ready to cook on when that water beads up, so that is plenty hot. So now what I'm going to do is add a pat of butter. It's a little warm in the studio today, so let's see what this does. Add this pat of butter and melt it, cover the whole bottom of the pan. Now, if you want to make pancakes a little faster, have 2 of these pans going, or use one of those flat griddles, you know, those flat electric griddles, however you want to do it. I don't mind waiting a little while. There's an art to this. I enjoy it. And then add about a quarter of a cup of syrup to the pan. And that, I can see already that batter rose quite nicely. And then what I'm going to do is just put some bananas in it. And again, the amount of bananas is totally up to you. Do it to taste. That looks good to me. And then what I'm going to do is watch for bubbles to start to form on top of the pancake. What those bubbles are telling me is that the pancake is starting to cook through. And when the top of the pancake starts to look a little bit less liquid and a little bit more solid, then I'll know that the pancake is ready to be flipped. So I'll be back in one moment. Okay, so bubbles are forming. This is about 3 minutes later. You can see the bubbles forming at the top. The batter is looking firm even at the top. It's not looking as liquid. That's when it's a good time to flip this cake. There we go. Now, if I want this side a little bit darker, I can flip it back and just cook it for another minute or so. But, you know, I love that golden look to these pancakes. And I'm not going to bore you and show you how to cook every single pancake. Just have this bottom cooking. That's about another 2 to 3 minutes. You can take a look. And then this pan will slowly warm up even more, which means these will cook a little bit faster. The pancakes will cook a little bit faster. I have my oven on bake at 200. The rack is in the middle. I already put in a foil-lined baking pan, and I'm just going to keep putting the pancakes into that baking pan to keep them warm until they're ready to be served. And again, if you want to have 2 or 3 pans going at the same time doing this, that will save you even more time. And here we are 2 minutes later. Let's take a look at the bottom of this pancake. You can see the bananas have cooked nicely. And here's our butter pecan syrup. It has a nice slow simmer going. It's going to take some of the flavor of the pecan, the butter, mix it into that syrup, and I guarantee you're going to love this on banana pancakes. So congratulations, look at what you just did. You just made 8 to 10 of these delicious banana pancakes with this wonderful butter pecan syrup. Now, you are absolutely going to love this recipe, and if you do, please go to my website, stepbystepchef.com, and you will find a printable version of this recipe, along with printable versions of dozens and dozens of other delicious dishes, and, as a bonus, step-by-step video links that go along with every single one of them. So please give this a try. Tell all your friends, tell your neighbors, tell your family, tell everybody about Step by Step Chef. So again, my name is Larry Richardson. I am your step-by-step chef, and I'll see you in the next episode. Sorry, I'm sorry. I can't wait.